What's going on, New York Giants fans? Welcome back to another video. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or video drops. Appreciate all the support from you guys out there. Please subscribe. Only 38% of you guys are subscribed, so it helps out the algorithm, helps out the channel and growing it. Please subscribe. You get the engagement with us. We answer your questions, call-ins, stuff like that. And once we get bigger and bigger and bigger, more stuff for you guys as the content viewers. In this video, I'm going to talk about the New York Giants, some of the moves they made along the offensive line, and what made those moves possible. So let's start out from where it all started. On Monday, we learned that Ben Bredesen, the left guard who's been playing there for about 3 weeks, suffered a hand injury against the Falcons this past week. I guess he was playing with it. You know, they never really put anyone else in at left guard, at least from what I noticed. But he has a hand injury, has been practicing the last few days. I know they did a walkthrough today, but for insurance, being that he's probably going to be out a couple of weeks, the Giants signed Wes Martin off of the Washington practice squad. He was a fourth-round pick out of Indiana by Washington in 2019. In 2019, he played 9 games for them, started 5. In 2020, he played all 16 and started 5. The stats, they're not too great. Limited snaps, and even when he did play in 2020, they weren't good. I mean, him and Jerron Christian were like the worst or among the worst duo at left tackle and left guard in terms of the offensive line across the league. He allowed 1 sack in 2019, 4 sacks in 2020, and he played about the same percentage of snaps in those 2 years, about 31%. But he played, I would say, about 49 more snaps in 2020 than he did in 2019. So he can play both right guard and left guard. The Giants will most likely have him at left guard, Will Hernandez staying in his spot and stuff like that. So what do I think of this move? I think the Giants are really desperate at this point. Injuries, the fact that they're 0-3, they got to go searching for anything. I don't think that they'll make any big trades because they're already, dug into their own mess with the money situation, and it's just a shit show. It's a circus for the Giants at this moment. They're 0-3. They have offensive line issues, and not that it's been the biggest problem, but it's certainly not, great. I mean, they have given Daniel enough time in the pocket, but he's been pressured the 4th most in the league, so that's not good. But especially with these type of changes where you're going to insert another left guard, you put Nick Gates at left guard, move Billy Price to center, all these moves are going to screw up the chemistry of the offensive line if they had any. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but we'll see on Sunday who starts against the Saints. Will it be Skura or will it be Wes Martin? In terms of another player the New York Giants signed, they signed him to the practice squad. They gave this guy a second chance, Isaiah Wilson. There is a lot to talk about with him. It's not a huge deal in my opinion because of 2 things. We're 0-3 and we need depth, even though he's a tackle and he's on the practice squad. So it's not like, the Giants are signing him to this big contract or anything. But to provide a little bit of a background, he started all but 1 game for Georgia in the 2018 season and the 2019 season. So obviously he has the availability that the Giants would want. He also redshirted his freshman season. So he was the 29th pick by Tennessee in the 2020 NFL Draft. I honestly thought at the time it was a reach, and it seemed like it, and we'll get to why he's a draft bust for the Tennessee Titans at least. Played 3 snaps in 1 game, then was suspended in Week 13 versus the Browns because of a violation of team rules. A couple of weeks before that, I think, going into training camp, he was put on the COVID list, so things didn't really start out well there. It would have been highly remarked more if it was like a New York market or if it was like an LA market. It would have been remarked more in those markets rather than just Tennessee, which is a small market. So going to February, he tweeted and then deleted the tweet that he did not want to play football anymore for the Titans. With that being said, he was traded to Miami in March for a 7th-round draft pick. in the 2022 draft. 3 days later, Miami waives him for showing up late to the workouts. I think it's like the involuntary workouts, stuff like that. So he showed up late there, and they cut him. And there's a lot to be uncovered with the legal issues. Let's go over that. He is a rapper, by the way. At least that's what I'm reading. He goes by the name Gigi Bowser, and he also released a hip-hop EP under the stage name of Gigi Bowser titled Layup Line. So I guess he's got a music career if his NFL career does not work out. In terms of legal issues, there is a couple on this list. Now, obviously, marijuana, the whole topic of that can get very political, so I'm not going to go into, what do I think about that. But on September 11th of last year, he was arrested for a DUI. On January 7th, he was arrested for leading a 140-mile-an-hour police chase. Police found 3.4 grams of marijuana in his car. Go to March 24th, he was charged with felony fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, speeding in a construction zone, reckless driving, reckless conduct, possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, and then use of drug-related objects. So, that's an extensive amount of legal issues for someone who's been in the league for about a year. Maybe less than, because he really hasn't signed with the team. But the Giants are giving him a second chance, whether it be the practice squad, whether it be this, that, and the other thing. Hope it works out for him. Obviously, I think on Twitter he stated that he wants to get back to football, that he's refocused on the game. So hopefully it works out for him. I don't see the Giants calling him up or using him unless Andrew Thomas or Matt Peart gets injured. Also to note, Isaiah Wilson and Andrew Thomas played on the opposite sides at Georgia. Thomas at left tackle, Isaiah Wilson at right tackle. So that's something worth of noting. Hope it goes well, but this is a thing to keep in mind. But once again, the Giants are 0-3. You might as well make a desperation move like that. In terms of roster updates, I already stated the 2 signings. They also signed Amari Cobb and Sam Jones to the practice squad. Amari Cobb is a linebacker. He was a 2020 undrafted free agent. Played 1 game for the Chiefs last year and made 1 tackle. Sam Jones was signed to the practice squad as well. He's, I believe, a center. He spent some time with the Broncos, specifically 5 games with them in 2018. Spent the offseason with the Cardinals between 2019 and 2020. With the Colts from 2020 to this year. And then spent the preseason with the Atlanta Falcons. Played well from what I heard, but obviously not good enough to make the roster. Giants placed Blake Martinez on injured reserve with the torn ACL. Hope he gets back and healthy next year. And then they also terminated the contracts of wide receiver Matt Cole, who the Giants know, or I should say Giants fans know from the preseason, playing cornerback, special teams, and wide receiver. Foster Sarrell, who they signed a couple of days ago from the Ravens. He was with the Ravens in the preseason. They signed him. And then Willie Henry, who played parts of the preseason with the New York Giants. And that's that. So if you guys haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when live stream pops or a video drops. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Once again, 38% of you guys are subscribed, so let's get that number up. Let's help out the channel, the algorithm, stuff like that. And then you guys get the content, you guys get the engagement from us. And we're growing very slowly, but it's on an up. It's not on a down. So peace out. See you later. Stay cool. And go Giants and go Yankees.